Let's get this new information, though. How about this for a prediction? A market crash coming in the third quarter of this year, and the U.S. is headed for bankruptcy?
That's how Harry Dent I was so taken aback.
Yeah.
That's how Harry Dent of HS Dent Investment Management says, Happy New Year. He is the author of The Great Crash Ahead, Strategies for a World Turned Upside Down. Harry, come on, man. I mean, you've seen those guys on ESPN say, come on, man. That seems a little bit over the top, doesn't it?
How many crashes have we seen in the last 10 years or so? 2000, 2002, bubble crash. 2007, bubble crash. We're getting a bubble and crash about every 4 or 5 years. So this is what we have when you go over a demographic cliff. Remember Japan. Think back at Japan. Japan went over the demographic cliff, peak in baby boom spending, peak real estate boom. They had a bust. Guess what? 22 years later, real estate is still down over 60%, still drifting down. Stocks are down nearly 80%, not that far up their lows. They keep bubbling up and then going down to new lows. So this is the new normal, given that baby boomers are aging and the next generation is not only not in the workforce yet largely, but they're not as large when they do. So we're never going to see real estate prices at these levels again, and we're not going to see stocks at the levels we saw in 2007 for a long time. So to me, this is not unusual at all.
You know, you're looking at the demographic changes, and certainly that is a big sort of, determinant. But what about the determinant of Ben and Mario? What about the fact that we've got all this free money in the market? There are very few alternatives to U.S. equities. What about the fact that you've got so much money globally looking for a home? Early in the year, you had 401ks, pension funds. This market feels like it wants to go higher. So what do you have to say about all these positives? Not to mention the fact that underlying economics, not so bad. You got a housing market that has turned. You've got an enormous amount of cash on balance sheets.
China's looking better. Europe maybe not as bad.
Well, Europe, I don't know about that, but.
Well, we call this the economy in a coma. Basically, without these trillions of dollars of stimulus, we would be in a downturn, in a depression, because we also have $42 trillion in private debt, the greatest debt bubble in history, and that needs to unwind. Basically, Ben Bernanke and the economists are just saying we're just not going to let this slowdown happen. We're not going to let this debt deleverage. If you don't let your debt deleverage, if you don't restructure debt, and this is the same thing Japan's done, they've done quantitative easing forever, you never come out of this because the debt keeps weighing on the economy. So not only do you have slowing demographics, we got a 200 to 300 pound weight on our back, and you just can't run very fast. So yeah, we get 2% growth with massive life support. We're in the emergency room on life support only because of this trillions of dollars of stimulus. I guarantee
so what's the catalyst?
both of
What's the
you take away this stimulus for 1 year and this economy dies.
All right, so Harry, stay right there. We want to get to Phil LeBeau because we've got breaking news. We want to get to it on Boeing. Phil, over to you.
Maria, we've heard from the NTSB. We were expecting an update from them. They have at least an initial report regarding the fire investigation of that 787 Dreamliner in Boston yesterday. The NTSB saying that they have decided they're going to send 2 more investigators to look at the Dreamliner in question, and that at least initially, taking a look at the fire in question, they found severe fire damage to the battery of the auxiliary power unit. Now, remember, the auxiliary power unit is what is used to provide power to an airplane when it is parked on the tarmac. It is not while it is in flight. So the battery unit, severe fire damage there, and it's pretty clear, Scott and Maria, that we are going to see more airlines. If they haven't already, they're going to start checking the wiring on their battery units. I just talked with the folks with ANA out of Japan. They have a number of Dreamliners. They checked theirs overnight at the urging of the transportation of the Ministry of Transportation in Japan. I just talked with United Airlines. It has checked the battery power wiring on all of its Dreamliners, all 6 of them. The Wall Street Journal reports that 1 of them did not have the wiring done properly. So that's clearly where the investigation is headed regarding those Dreamliners and the fire that we saw yesterday in Boston. Guys, back to you.
All right, Phil, thanks so much. Phil LeBeau with the latest there. We'll certainly keep watching that story. Boeing's had a dreadful couple of days as a result of all of this and has traded already more than 2 times its average daily volume as a result of these negative stories. Harry, thanks for your patience. What was your prediction for stocks for the year 2012?
Basically, we thought they'd probably peak around mid-year. Now, they did not. We got QE3. We think markets are going to go up for a while. I think Maria's right. The market wants to go up. We'll see one more correction into this second fiscal cliff. I think we'll see another rally into maybe